This is one of the things. I'll go to ePortfolios for a minute by way of an answer, if you like. So ePortfolios has been a popular movement, gaining popularity over the last 10 years. And an ePortfolio, I'll call it a portfolio because everything's e these days. So let's just say we ask students, we encourage them to keep a portfolio of their achievements. That's a good thing to do. Most people would agree with that. And some of the things they would put in there would be there are formal assessments, but there's also informal things that they've done or things they've done in the rest of their lives. They start gathering evidence. Now, I like to think of it as a bottom drawer on a filing cabinet, and we've all got one, I hope, where we keep bouquets and brickbats and things that we've done. Now, when I want to present myself to a prospective employer, I don't invite them in to look at the whole drawer. I pull out the things and I select them. And it helps me too if there's some system that shows me my strengths and weaknesses in particular areas. Now, if we use badges to warrant achievement of identified learning outcomes and standards, as I just explained, then a badging system also makes non-countable things more easily countable, if I can put it that way. If you throw everything into a bottom drawer, it's not easy to see at a glance what you've got heaps of and what you haven't got much of. If it's tagged or badged, it makes it more visible. So it would first of all help the student themselves to be able to recognise where they've got more evidence and a bit less evidence, where they might want to enhance that. And that to me would be the primary purpose. Are employers ever going to look at these badges? Well, maybe, maybe not. Do they now look at every piece of assessment that a student does? Probably not, because sometimes students don't even collect those pieces of assessment. Sometimes they do exams which are never collected or given back. So all they get at the end is the synthesised, if you like, testama, academic record and so on. I think it's important to keep building strategies that enable the student to demonstrate and speak of their own learning outcomes. Now, these are claims, not always warranted, but by way of example, another small strategy that we're working on is called Me in a Minute, and I'm very happy to show you some examples. Me in a Minute is we're actually helping students now to make a 1-minute video. So we've got students helping students to make a video, just like I'm doing now. So they will introduce themselves and say, they've chosen 2 or 3 of our graduate learning outcomes at Deakin, and they'll say, I can do this, I've done that, here's my evidence for that. There's a few cutaways in a short 1-minute video, and that makes the student very conscious that, hang on a minute, I need to be able to articulate here what my achievements really are in the context of the degree that I'm studying. So if they're a media student, they'll obviously pick examples to do with media, journalism and so on, and images to go with that. So it's a low-cost solution, but the idea of it is not for us to showcase our students so much, although of course we want to do that, but to give the student the video and say, that's a 1-minute YouTube clip. It's your responsibility. Take that with you. We've given you the opportunity to actually articulate your achievements and present yourself to a potential employer in 1 minute. There's an artefact that you can take with you. And of course, what we're hoping is the student will put it on LinkedIn. The student will share that with the people who are going to help them take the step in their lives. But also, in a year or two, they will think maybe, that's a bit out of date now. I'll make another one. Because we think this is the way students are going to make their way in the digital marketplace of tomorrow.